Imagine being able to navigate the chaos of the world with unwavering calm, as if the noise around you doesn't affect you. Sounds impossible? What if I told you that silence is the key to this hidden strength, reserved for only a few? While the world screams, rushes, and gets lost in chaos, those who understand the power of silence find an indescribable and transformative strength. But what exactly does it mean to be chosen? Why is silence, something so simple, the key to unlocking this power that few know about? In this video, you'll discover how silence, when used consciously, can transform your life and elevate you to a new level of self-awareness and spiritual growth. Imagine being able to face any storm with calmness while everyone around you succumbs to despair. Think that's impossible? You're about to discover that true strength lies in silence, and that those who master it are capable of transforming themselves and the world around them. Are you ready to explore this hidden power? If you feel that there's something greater waiting for you, something that the world's distractions can't reveal, stay with us. Let's explore together how silence can be more powerful than any spoken word. The path of the chosen begins with a simple choice: to remain silent while everyone shouts. Are you ready to discover this power? Silence is a powerful tool, present in various spiritual traditions and cultures around the world. In moments of introspection, it allows access to deep truths that words often obscure. In Buddhist traditions, silence is a form of meditation, where individuals connect with their essence and find answers that go beyond intellect. In Christian mysticism, silence is seen as a direct path to the divine, enabling contact with the inner voice. In indigenous cultures, silence is a way to honor nature and the cosmos. Beyond being a break from the outside world, silence acts as a catalyst for personal transformation. By withdrawing from the constant noise around us, we create a fertile space for inner growth. It is in this space that emotions can be processed, self-awareness flourishes, and mental clarity strengthens. Often, it's only in silence that we find answers to deep dilemmas, as we distance ourselves from external distractions and approach the truth that lives within us. What's most fascinating is that silence not only transforms the individual but also reverberates in their relationships. When we choose silence instead of reacting impulsively, this choice profoundly impacts those around us. The absence of words can be more powerful than any speech, as it reveals a presence, a wisdom that transcends verbal communication. Silence is not empty, it is filled with intentions, reflections, and spiritual maturity. Those who master this force can influence their environment with their tranquility. And silence doesn't have to be passive. Often, it is an active and strategic choice. By remaining silent in the face of conflict, we are not giving in but creating a space for observation and self-control. Silence gives us time to process what is really happening, understand hidden motivations, and thus react in a more thoughtful way. Silence has a power that goes beyond superficial understanding. Historically, it has been used as a form of resistance and social transformation. A clear example is the nonviolent movement led by Mahatma Gandhi. His refusal to respond to violence with more violence, his silence amidst chaos and provocations, transformed India and inspired the world. By maintaining silence, he not only preserved his inner peace but also demonstrated a strength that disarmed oppressors. In this context, silence became a weapon of change, proving that we don't always need to shout to be heard. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr. used silence in his peaceful marches for civil rights. Surrounded by shouts of hate and violence, his serene posture and choice not to react with fury conveyed a much more powerful message. Here, silence was not a sign of weakness but of self-control and strength. When we choose silence as a response in moments of tension, we make it clear that we are not driven by others' emotions. On the contrary, we show that we have control over ourselves and how we choose to act in the world. But silence isn't limited to historical figures. In our daily lives, it can be an act of power in our own lives. Imagine a conflict situation where the natural tendency would be to respond impulsively. Now think about how silence can diffuse a discussion. When we don't return provocation with more words, the impact is surprising. People expect an immediate response, and silence forces them to reflect on their own words and actions. This strategic pause can change the course of a conversation, creating space for a more peaceful resolution. Silence, as an act of power, requires practice and self-awareness. It's not easy to remain silent when tension rises, but it is precisely in this choice that true strength lies. Silence gives us the opportunity to observe, understand hidden intentions, and handle the situation more wisely. More than just the absence of words, it is an affirmation of emotional control and peaceful resistance. Try it in your next conflict situation. Instead of reacting immediately, choose silence and see how it can diffuse the situation. After all, how can silence be more effective than any word in moments of tension? Choosing not to react, especially in tense moments, might initially seem like a sign of weakness or submission. However, it's actually one of the greatest demonstrations of inner strength. Non-reaction isn't about ignoring what's happening around you, it's about consciously deciding how to handle it. It's self-mastery, the ability not to be swayed by provocations and external emotions. For example, when someone insults us, our instinctive response might be to retaliate. But by choosing silence or a calm reply, we prevent the situation from escalating and show superior control over our emotions. This emotional control is often mistaken for passivity, but there's a clear line that separates non-reaction from weakness. Choosing not to react is frequently a strategic move. Think about situations where an impulsive response would only fuel the conflict. Deciding not to react allows the negative energy to dissipate, much like a fire going out due to a lack of fuel. Non-reaction puts you in a position of power because those who don't respond to chaos with more chaos demonstrate serenity and emotional intelligence. When we resist the urge to react, we create space for our inner peace to grow stronger. Moreover, non-reaction teaches a valuable lesson: the importance of choosing your battles. Not every provocation deserves a response, and not every conflict requires your involvement. By deciding not to react, you save emotional and mental energy for what truly matters. This stance also confuses those who try to destabilize you because they expect a reaction that never comes. This lack of response disarms them, making it clear that true power lies in calmness and self-control. So, how can you develop this ability? One of the most effective techniques is practicing the pause. When someone provokes you, take a deep breath and count to 10 before responding. This brief moment of pause is enough to diminish the initial urge to react. In that space, you can choose to respond more thoughtfully or often decide not to respond at all. Silence can be a more powerful answer than any word, reflecting self-control, emotional intelligence, and a mind that isn't easily shaken by external influences. Non-reaction is also a form of peaceful resistance. This means you don't have to fight every battle that comes your way. Provocations are invitations to conflict, but you have the power to decline that invitation. When you choose not to react, you create a field of peace around you, impenetrable to provocations. Over time, this attitude earns respect, and people around you begin to see you as someone who doesn't get easily rattled. Try this technique the next time you're provoked. How could your non-reaction change the dynamics of the situation? Keeping calm when everything is peaceful is easy, but it's in the midst of chaos that true inner strength shines through. Life often throws us into challenging situations where pressure mounts and chaos seems to take over. In these moments, inner silence becomes the most powerful tool we can use. Calmness is a skill that, like any other, can be developed. One of the first steps to cultivating it is learning to breathe consciously. When the mind is agitated, breathing speeds up. By focusing on breathing slowly and deeply, we automatically start to calm both our body and mind. An effective technique to maintain serenity is practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment, without getting caught up in worries about the past or anxieties about the future, gives us more control over our reactions. When we are fully present, we can observe chaos objectively without being swept away by it. Think of the mind as a lake. Even when there are deep currents, the surface can remain calm. The same goes for our inner peace, which doesn't need to be shaken by external challenges. Moreover, staying calm amidst chaos allows us to make more conscious decisions. In the heat of the moment, the tendency is to act impulsively, which can lead to regrets. However, when we cultivate tranquility, we gain a clearer view of the situation and its possible consequences. A simple exercise for these high-pressure moments is to pause for a few seconds and take a deep breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. This technique helps calm the mind and create space for a more thoughtful reaction. How many times have you reacted on impulse and then regretted it? How different would it have been if you had given yourself time to reflect? Inner calm also impacts the environment around us. Imagine a heated argument where one person chooses to stay calm while others lose control. The tranquility of that person creates an atmosphere that can calm others as well. Staying serene amidst chaos is not just a form of self-control but also a form of leadership. Your calmness can positively influence those around you, transforming the environment and leading people to a more peaceful resolution. From today on, ask yourself, how can I be that anchor of calm in life's storms? Try applying these techniques in your next stressful situation and see how your serenity can influence others and turn chaos into order. Provocations are everywhere, whether in the workplace, personal relationships, or even on social media. They test our patience and often seem to demand an immediate response. But the wise know that not every provocation deserves a reaction. The wisdom of not reacting to negative stimuli isn't something that comes naturally, it's the result of self-control and deep self-awareness. When someone tries to provoke us, the intention behind it is usually to disrupt our balance. By choosing not to react, we break this cycle of aggression and frustration. This is the first step to mastering the art of non-reaction. Understanding the motivations behind provocations is also key to avoiding impulsive reactions. Often, the one who provokes is projecting their own insecurities and internal problems onto you. When you realize this, it becomes easier not to take the other person's words or actions personally. By observing this dynamic, you gain a clearer view of what's really happening. Imagine a scenario where someone says something aggressive to you. If you respond in the same tone, you'll just fuel the conflict. But if you maintain your serenity and don't return the provocation, the tension dissolves. This kind of self-control is a display of strength, not weakness. But how can you develop this ability to not react? One of the most effective techniques is practicing the pause. When someone provokes you, take a deep breath and count to 10 before responding. This short pause gives enough time for the initial urge to react to lessen. It's in this space that you can choose to respond more consciously or often decide not to respond at all. Moreover, silence can be a more powerful response than any word, as it reflects self-control, emotional intelligence, and a mind that isn't easily shaken by external influences. By not reacting, you're also practicing a form of peaceful resistance. This means you don't have to fight every battle that comes your way. Provocations are invitations to conflict, but you have the power to decline that invitation. When you choose non-reaction, you create a field of peace around you that provocations can't penetrate. This not only preserves your emotional and mental energy but also disarms those who expected to see you lose control. Over time, this stance inspires respect, and people around you start to see you as someone who isn't easily rattled. Have you ever thought about how this could change your everyday life? Serenity is more than just a feeling of calm, it's the fertile ground where spiritual growth blossoms. When a person begins to practice silence and cultivate serenity, they open doors to a deeper level of self-awareness. In the whirlwind of daily life, we are constantly bombarded by external and internal noises, responsibilities, worries, judgments. However, it is when we find serenity that these noises dissipate, and a true connection with our inner self is established. Serenity allows us to hear not only the sounds around us, but, more importantly, the voice of our soul. This state of serenity, highly valued by various spiritual traditions, is the path to enlightenment. It's no coincidence that practices like meditation, silent retreats, and contemplation are central pillars of so many philosophies. They teach us that to achieve inner peace, we need to quiet the distractions and turn inward. It is in this inner silence that we find answers to existential questions, better understand our desires and fears, and identify areas of our lives that need healing. When the mind is at peace, the heart can guide us with greater clarity and confidence. Serenity also teaches us the art of detachment. Often, our worries and anxieties stem from trying to control what is beyond our reach. A serene person knows that control is an illusion and that true peace comes from accepting the impermanence and uncertainty of life. The more serenity we cultivate, the more we let go of the desire to control everything and everyone, allowing things to flow naturally. This detachment doesn't mean indifference, but rather the understanding that we are in harmony with the universe, and it will guide us as long as we know how to listen to it in silence. But the most fascinating thing is that by practicing serenity, the world around us also transforms. People who find inner peace end up emanating an energy that positively influences those around them. When we are at peace, we not only grow spiritually but also help others find their own peace. The simple act of remaining serene amidst challenges serves as an example and inspiration to those around us. Think about it. How can your own serenity be a source of light and healing for others? As your spiritual growth deepens, you become a presence of peace in the world, and that alone is an act of spiritual service. When someone finds true inner peace, it's common for those around them to feel perplexed. In a world where immediate reactions, stress, and agitation are so normal, seeing someone who remains calm amidst all of that can be unsettling. Who hasn't encountered a tense situation where everyone is agitated except for one person who stays serene? This contrast makes many wonder, how does this person stay so calm while everything is falling apart? And this perplexity often reflects how rare and powerful inner peace is. People's reactions to your serenity can come in various forms. Some may feel intimidated, believing that calmness is a form of superiority. Others might even try to provoke you to see how far your resistance goes. However, in many cases, this perplexity can turn into admiration. When someone realizes that your peace isn't shaken by external events, they begin to see you as a beacon of balance. It's important to remember that this tranquility often sparks in others a desire to find their own serenity as well. Your peace becomes an inspiration. Moreover, your calmness can serve as a mirror, reflecting others' own restlessness. A person's serenity highlights, without words, the internal chaos of those who haven't yet found that balance. And it's natural for this to cause discomfort. After all, confronting one's own emotional disorder can be a challenging experience. However, this initial perplexity can open doors for personal growth for those around you. By observing your ability to maintain emotional control and serenity, others may begin to question their own reactions and attitudes toward life. But remember, inner peace isn't about convincing others that they need to change. It's about being a living example that there is another way, the path of serenity and inner silence. When others are perplexed by your tranquility, it's an opportunity for you to show that this peace is possible for everyone, as long as they are willing to seek it. Through your own example, you plant the seed of transformation in people's hearts without needing to say a word. And the question remains, how can your serenity continue to impact those around you, silently? Now that you understand the hidden power of silence and how it can transform your life, the true journey begins. Silence isn't just an absence of words, but a conscious choice of peace and inner strength. And the more you practice this serenity, the closer you get to self-awareness and the path of the chosen ones. The world around you may be in chaos, but within you lies an unshakable calm waiting to be awakened. So, how will you apply this wisdom? What changes in your life starting today? Start observing the moments when silence can be the most powerful answer. Take a deep breath in the face of provocations, choose not to react, and see how this transforms your energy and the environment around you. Remember, true power lies in controlling your reactions, not the external world. Now, I want to hear from you. Which part impacted you the most? How do you plan to use this silent power in your daily life? Share in the comments. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. We're on this journey of spiritual growth and self-awareness together. Share this video with someone you think is also ready to discover the hidden power of silence. Let's spread this strength to transform the world, one moment of serenity at a time.